Hello, it is Megan and Tara from Sojourn Psychology, and we are sitting together noticing how important it is for us to yet again consider the act of listening bravely. So, Megan, what are you noticing with the people you love, with the people that you work with? How are you noticing this important action just right now?
Yeah, I'm noticing that particularly with the kiddos that I work with, that the distress and the exhaustion and the toughness of the past year and a half is really being demonstrated through behavior. So in the clients, I've got a lot of parents that are just saying, Megan, like we had come so far and things were going so well. What happened? Increased in tantruming, increased in more oppositional behaviors. And so something that we've talked about is seeing that behavior as a reflection of distress rather than oppositionality or defiance, kind of deeming it as more maybe pointed or intentional negative behavior. Because kiddos don't have the language to say, "Ooh, it's been a tough year and a half. And you know what, mom, I'm feeling distressed. I need to, take a breather." And what they do instead is they show it through their behavior, right? So that's something I've really seen an increase in, particularly I'd say over the past 3-ish months.
Yeah, and I think it's not just the kids too. I see this with us grown-ups, and that's some of what we've talked about with vice behavior. And most vices are negative, so people, we don't know what to do with all these charged emotions. And the adults, we're struggling at home. We're not doing well. Our behavior is showing that. And then the children's behavior as well is showing that. So our behavior is speaking, and just like the need to hear people who are different from us speak, and to have a compassionate place to listen, an authentic and compassionate place to listen from, that's the same piece. Like, how do we listen to behavior?
Mm-hmm. And it can be tough to listen to the tough behavior because it can be so dysregulated for the family as a whole or for an individual too, right?
Oh, yeah. I think my bad behavior is not very easy to listen to.
Me neither.
Right? We know that. And so even that, noticing that when my behavior is poor, it's hard for other people to hear it. And so of course then that gets their shark music going or their concern going, and then we cannot be off to the races. So that's an exercise of empathy, really, to say, hey, we're all just people like everybody else, and this is a normal sort of scientific, biological thing, neurological thing that occurs inside of us. Is there's a distress and we do something.
Mm-hmm.
And so that listening bravely to behavior is also an acceptance that there is a root. There's something going on underneath the surface. This isn't, the behavior isn't all of who that person is.
Right. And the behavior also doesn't capture what it is that the need underlying the behavior, right? It actually, I'd say it distracts from what the need is.
Yeah. So often, right? Because we're in distress, and then we try to figure something out to signal to everybody that we're distressed, or to signal to everybody to not look at us. Mm-hmm. And that behavior signal usually gets us the exact opposite of what we actually need to soothe.
Yeah.
And so when I think of listening from an attachment perspective, and Bowlby really categorizes attachment into two main spaces. One is the secure base and one is the safe haven. And secure base is much more about exploration. So when we create some space with our people to have safe exploration, the listening activity is really about watching over and listening. So I am seeing you and listening. Whereas the second category that Bowlby might notice is the safe haven experience, which is more about like, come to me. And that listening is more of this like comfort listening. Mm-hmm. So there is this real, it sounds complicated, but it's this space to watch and listen, and the space to say, hey, I am listening. Mm-hmm. I am seeing you. I am knowing you. I am hearing you.
And I think that, thinking about that top of the circle for the safe base, that particularly with COVID, so much of the control that we thought that we had and so much of the independence that we felt that we had has just been stripped away in so many aspects of life. And I think that a lot of people are showing, again, I'd say with their behavior, that I'm trying to find control in some area of my life. So that for some people manifests as like really restrictive eating or pushing back, right? That I'm just pushing back because I'm just trying to find, or I'm only going to wear this one shirt to school and that's it. It's trying to find that independence and that sense of control through through the behavioral side of things, right? Because we're so out of control right now.
Well, and without the freedom to go off and explore and the freedom to be comforted by one bigger, stronger, wiser, kinder, or Bowlby says stronger, wiser other person. So without those things, we're disorganized. And it's not to say parents are ruining their kids right now or people in authority are ruining their kids. The trauma of this global crisis, it limits our ability to have the full experience that we had prior to. And so then we are all dysregulated. And then we polarize or tribalize was a term that I heard somebody say. This is my camp. This is my camp. Because I don't know how to do my free thing that I kind of knew how to do before. Yeah. So this is important. So listening bravely is really, again, it's just slowing down and carving out space for people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I liked, Tara, just reflecting to the vlog that you made last year on Brave Listening, that you talked about it can be beautiful to offer shared experiences to people because you're trying to empathize and connect with them. But sometimes that shared experience can detract from the sharer or the person feeling connected and feeling heard. So that safe haven on the bottom of the circle. And this is a tricky balance. It's hard to, walk the tightrope of offering advice and support versus just being invalidating. And I think what a lot of people, at least what I'm seeing, I can't speak for everybody, but that people just want to be heard. And by heard, I mean, literally listen to me, validate me, connect with me, because we're so lacking in that connectedness in our world right now. I don't know if you're seeing that or feeling that.
I agree. And I was glad that I re-listened to that Listening Bravely vlog, and I'll make sure it's linked down below here because I needed that reminder from myself, crazy as that sounds. But I was thinking of how I am listening with my friends who are Muslim or Indigenous, or listening to my kiddos who are going through their own stuff. And I was like, you know what? I'm talking too much.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay. This is really great, Megan. And this is an important piece. It's a little bit twisty turning to wrap your brain around. So, hey, people, if you need to listen to this more than once, but it does make sense if we slow down and think through the need to experience the resounding ability within us.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I'd say as a trick, and I don't know how you feel about this, Tara, but ask yourself, what is that behavior an expression of? Mm-hmm. What are they trying to tell me? Or what am I trying to tell people? What's my behavior trying to express to people so that I can be more clear, right? Because everybody's, I feel like, discombobulated right now. But.
Yeah. That's powerful. That's a great beginning. Mm-hmm. That's a great beginning question. So awesome. Thanks, Megan. Thanks, people.